Hello everyone. So this is the day 12 of the admin training. In this day we'll talk about that tables, we'll talk about the fields and field type, we'll talk about reference field, table structure, schema map and then custom table. So before we talk about this, our main topic in our today's class is the creating the custom tables, demonstration of the custom table. What do you mean by custom table? So in ServiceNow there are a lot of time we'll talk about that OOP, right? So what does it mean by OOP? OOP means that out of box. So that something that is provided by ServiceNow itself. For example, incident, change, problem. So these are the table we have in out of box, and I have shown you that there are a lot of tables we have already present to the table module. If we go there, a lot of table is there. So these all are provided by ServiceNow, and this is a out of box table. But let's say that for some reason, for some type of data you need to be stored which cannot be stored in out of box, you need to have your own table. You need to be stored that in our own table. That table we talk about the custom table. So we talk about that this type is called the custom table. When we talk about the custom table, it means that the table that we are creating by ourselves. But before you create the custom table, first check with your ServiceNow relationship manager that you have a enough license to create the custom table or not, because custom table is a chargeable. So when you create a custom table, it's a chargeable. And before you create a custom table, just check your account relationship manager that you can create custom table or not, or how many tables you can create that. So when you create a custom table, for example, you created a custom table called A, the custom table name will be started with U underscore A. So normally the custom table name will be started with U underscore A. U means that user defined. So this is how we create the custom table. Now creating the custom table is a two options. Either you can create the custom table in global application, or else you can create the custom table in the scope application. So what is the global application? What is the scope application? We'll talk about in our upcoming video. But at that moment when you are creating that table, normally we can create the table in the global application. But there are several ways that we can create the table on the scope application also. We'll discuss that further, but at that moment we are going to create the table under global application. Now when we talk about the custom table, so when we are creating the custom table, there will be a lot of fields created automatically, and there are few fields we can create based on our requirement. Now creating the custom table depending on your use case. For example, we have a user table and where we can store the user information, right? For example, if you want to store some announcement, you can store that data into the announcement, and those are the out of box table. But why suddenly need the custom table? For example, you need to be stored certain configuration which is not possible to store into this out of box. In that case, you can create the custom table. For example, book information, right? So if you want to store the book information, there are no table that you can store into the book information. For that reason, you can create your custom table. Depending on your use case, the table you can create custom table is you can create that. So custom table is a chargeable, and then before you create the custom table, you should check with your ServiceNow relationship manager. Custom table can be created under global scope as well as scope application. We'll talk about that little later. But when you create the custom table, it will be start with U underscore then table name. The unlike out-of-box table, custom table can be also extended. For example, if we have the incident table is out of box, we can extend the custom table, or we can create a custom table and extend to the incident table. For example, we can extend incident table with the A table. So if we extend that incident table, if we create a table called A, which is extended to the INC, all the field present to this INC will be copied over to this custom table. So that options also we have available. Now also we have various types of fields. We have normally string type of fields. We have a type of URL type of field. We have a normal, we have integer type of field. We have then reference type of fields. So then we have that document type of fields. So reference and document we already talked about in our earlier class, that we can connect between one table to the another, that we call the reference field. So let's go back to the ServiceNow and first create a custom table and discuss further on those topics. So this is the ServiceNow developer instance, you can see. So this is the ServiceNow developer instance, and if you see here, this is the globe icon. If you click the globe icon, you will be able to find out that application scope, and under this application scope we have a global. So if you are in the global scope, it means that you are creating a table under global scope. If this value is different, then you are creating the table in the different scope application. So as I told that I'll brief discuss about the global scope or scope application. At that moment, assume that if that value is the global, it means that you are creating the table under global scope. Now, to create the tables, we have to type the tables here. If you type the tables, and under the system definition, you can see tables module is there. Like in SQL, let's say that your college project, somebody asks you to create a table. What do you do? Normally, you put that statement called create, right? Then table, and then put the table name, right? So let's say that ABC, and then you put all the fields, right? So you put the SQL statement to create the table. For the service now, you don't need to run or put any SQL statement. You can directly from the UI, you can create the table. Before we create the table, you can see there are already 5162 table is there. It means that these tables are already exist in our ServiceNow environment. Want to store any information in this table, we can store that. Still, if you think that you need to be create a table, you twice discuss with your ServiceNow relationship manager, and then you can create your custom table, because again the custom table is a chargeable. Now coming back here, we can create a new button, and then we can create that by simply clicking the new button. Before we create the custom table, I want to open some of the out-of-box table. For example, I am opening the change underscore request table. So this is the change. We store all this change related information. So this table is an out-of-box table. As I mentioned, that out-of-box means this is come under ServiceNow instance. So we don't need to do anything to create the table. So this is the ServiceNow provided table, and here we can store the information. If you see that if I open this one of this record, the first thing is that this is the number field, and this is an auto generated number, right? So it is means that whenever I'm creating the record, it automatically auto increment this number. So if I create another record, it will be 91. Then we have a, so these all are fields. So left side, these all are the fields, and then this is the all the value. So these all are the fields or label we can say, and this is the value of these fields, right? So we have a field called number. This is auto incremented. Now requested by, this is a reference field. Reference fields means that it is pointing to its kind of foreign key. It is pointing to the another table from this change request table, that pointing to the CC user table. Then we have a drop down kind of field called choice field. We talk about that. And these all are again reference fields. This is the choice fields. This is the string field. These all are the strings fields. Here it have a less length, 100 length. Here we have a maybe 1000 length. We can right click and then any of this field and click show. We can get more information about this field. So this length is the 4000, and this field length, if we click here, it is 160 length, right? And these all are the string field. You can see these all the string field, and this is the date time field here. This is a checkbox fields. So we are going to create those types of fields quickly right now. And this is the activity stream we called. This is the list type of fields, and then there are choice fields, and then string field. So these things we are completely, so this is the change request table. We are going to create our own table for the timing. So let's go ahead in the tables module and create a new table. So by clicking the new button under the tables module, and you can create a new table. Here you can put your table's name, but if you see on the top, it is showing that ServiceNow recommends to create a custom table in scope application. To learn more about creating the scope application, click here. So ServiceNow recommending to create a new table under scope application, but still if you want to create on the global application, you can see the right side application is a global. So it is showing that, and you can put the, or you can create the table name. For example, we can create a table name called book. For example, once we put the table label, go to the outside, the name will be automatically populated with that u underscore book name. And here we have options called create mobile module. So for the mobile application, we'll uncheck that. Here we have options called create module. So if you want to left side, if you want to see any kind of book application, then you can check, by default it is coming that. If you don't want to see, then uncheck that, and if you want to see, then you can check that. Depending on your use case, you can select that. I am not doing anything. And then here the extended a table, it means that if you want to extend some table, for example, task, incident, change, you can put that extend table. If you extend that, all the fields present to the parent table will be automatically created to the child table. I'm not doing or I'm not selecting anything. So this is the column. Under the column, it means that all fields that you want to create, that I'm not doing anything at that moment. Then we have a control. So control is an important factor. Let's understand the control here. So first thing, that if you see by default it's check these options, it means that I am creating this custom table. Along with that, there will be a custom role created automatically. If you don't want to create the custom role, you just simply uncheck that. If you want to create the custom role, you can say this is the custom role will be automatically created. So depending on your use case, you can create that things. So I'm just unchecking that so that I don't want to create any custom roles. We know what is roles, what is group. We already discussed that. Still, if you have any question, let me know in my comment section. So I am not, if you check that, what will be happen, it will be create a new custom role, and then here the couple of option is there. I'm not going to check any options at that moment, but when you are creating that tables, make sure that you verify that you needed any role or custom new role or not. Then we have application access. So this application access is important. For example, you have a scope application, and if you want to access or if you want to read any information from this table, you can check that, or later you can modify those information. So I'm not doing anything at that moment. So column or field, I have not created any fields. Let's save that. So once we save that, this table will be created into the backend ServiceNow. So this u underscore book table is created, and once we created that, it's by default generated or created with couple of fields. The first field it's created is the created by, then created, it's a date type of fields, created by is a string field, then sysID, there is one field called sysID, which is the uniquely identified field and it's auto generated. Then we have updates, so it's an integer field. Then we have updated by, which is a string field, and again we have a updated by. So these six fields automatically created without any field creation. Even if you don't create any field, by default system will create these six fields for a particular table. So whenever you create a table, very first thing it will create these tables. So once your table is created, let's refresh that. Once you refresh that, your ServiceNow instance got refreshed, and bottom we have couple of options created. You can see this is the all related list. We talk about that. So this is the table label created, database index. So whenever the table created, there needs to be some indexing. So this index will be created. Along with that, table subscription configuration will be created. So these are the things automatically created by default. So I'm not doing anything at that moment. Simply type here the book. You will be find out that one module created called books, because we have checked that create application, and then that's the reason this field is created. Now if we click that books module, this is our books table. Basically this is our books table where we can put or we can store the book information here. So this is the place where we can put all the information about books. So now we know that how we can create a tables, and then we can store the information in this table. For example, we can put any kind of book information. So let's go back here. So to store the book information, what are the fields normally we need? First field, let's say that we'll need the serial number, then a book title, right? And then price maybe, and then we know that author, right? So these are the information at that moment we need to be, or these are the fields we need to be created to store the book information, right? So how do we create the fields? So how do we create the fields into ServiceNow? So there are various options to create it fields. The first option I'll show you that you can simply go to this tables module again, and under the tables you can go to this tables, yes, under the system definition, and then search your table name that you have created. So this is the table you have created just now. So you put the search, and then you can find out the table name book. So this is the place from where we created the book table, and if we scroll down, as I show you that there are 6 fields at that moment created, and here we can create our own field. Let's say I'm trying to create couple of fields. The first field is, I said that SN number. So this will be a let's say that integer. So we'll put that type equal to integer. Next, we'll talk about that book title. So we'll put that book title, and then we have a price, right? So you can put the price, and this book title is a string field. We can put the string, and here we can put the maximum length of the string. So let's say that I'm putting that maximum length equal to 40. You can put the 100 or anything. This could be our price. The type is the price, and then we have another, let's say, author, right? So we can put that author, and this would be the reference, and then on which table I am referencing, I'm pointing to that user table. So I'll put or take the input from the user table. Once it is done, you can simply click the save button. So these are the field will be automatically created, or the automatically field will be created under the book table. So normally in the SQL, to create the fields, what we do, create table name, then we put that each of the field name, and then we put the field type in bracket and put that. Instead of that, you can simply create from the UI. So these tables have these many fields. Right now you can see these are the fields, and as it is custom field, or maybe I have created that, that's the reason these have the cross mark. It means that we can, if we want to delete these fields, even we can delete that. Now go back to the books module. So we'll go to the books module again, and then let's try to create a new book. So we'll click the new button, and you can see by default these fields are coming right now, called SN, then book title, price, author, and then we can put the information. So let's say that this title is one, book title is called test, and then price maybe $10, and then here we can select any author. So we can simply select that any user and then submit that. So this book information will be stored here, and then we can personalize. We discussed that we can simply click the personalize, and then whatever fields we needed, we can add those fields here and then save that. So once we save that, these fields will be visible right now, and then this is visible. Now next question is that if we want to generate some auto generated number, for example incident, right? So we want to create a auto generated number, we can do that. The simple way is that you can simply go to this tables module again here, the way we have created, and search with your table name. So let's go to the system definition, under the system definition, and find out your table name. So our table name is a book. Let's open that, and then you have a control options. Go to the control section, and here you have a options called auto number. You just check that, and then you want to start with this what. So normally in our case incident, it start with INC. So what you will be the starting number, you can say that the starting number will be the BK, and then how many number, how many character you want, you define that, and simply click save buttons. Once you save that, there will be a auto number generated, auto number field will be created. So the field is created under this. So this field is created. If you go back to the column sections, you will be able to find out there is a field called number which is automatically generated. Now go back to this again books module, and then if you click new button and open this existing record, um, you can see this number is blank. Let's delete that record. I'm deleting that record, and let's create a new record. So if you click new button, you can see the number is automatically generated here right now, and then here we can put the serial number 1, book title is test, and then price we can select that $10, and then we can select any of this user, and then simply save that. So this way we can create a table, we can add the fields, and then we can customize whatever we needed, because the book information, the book table is not present to the ServiceNow. We created our own custom table, and under the custom table we are going to store all this information here under this book table. So let me open this record again. So this is the record that we have created just now. So this is the record, and let's say that I am right clicking any of this field and then click show. You will be able to find out this, each of the field table is the u underscore book, and then field is name, the backend name is the u underscore sn. Why? because it's a custom table. So that's the reason it is coming that u underscore book, because user defined, and these fields I have created. So that's the reason it is coming that u underscore sn. If the field is created by ServiceNow, like for example, the sys created by that will doesn't have any u underscore, but the field I have created, that's the reason the field name is coming under as a u underscore. For example, if I go back to this change module, so this is the change that created by ServiceNow or out of box. This table doesn't have under any u underscore change request, and if you see these fields, number requested by category, business, service offering, this all field doesn't have any type of u underscore. If I simply right click and then show, you can see the table name equal to task, and then field equal to number, type equal to string, nothing u underscore. If you see right click on the type and then click show, it will be similar like task, then type equal to string, and then backend field equal to type. So there is nothing called u underscore, but these fields I have created, customized, and I have added that. That's the reason this field name is coming as a u underscore. So that's the difference between out of box tables, custom tables, and how the field name will be looks like that. That should be for today. If you have any question, let me know in my comment section. Thank you very much. Have a great day.